It's a beautiful day, people. Um, so I've got nothing in particular to say, which is, no, sometimes I really do. But today I don't. So I thought that, here's the thing. Actually, you know what? Check it out. If you're running out of things to do, start a YouTube channel. It's just fun. I don't know. Like I go to sleep early because I'm a pretty flipping busy guy during the day, right? There's nothing like clubs are closed and crap like that right now, right? So I'm up early, and if I don't have something to do, I'm like, I don't know, just like sitting there looking at the telly or something like that, and I watch the same flipping thing. It's either surf or reruns of the best of America's Got Talent. Yeah. Alex and Sierra. Like, I also watch the old ones. Alex and Sierra are my favorite. And there's this girl that plays the ukulele. I think she's from upstate New York. She's like young. She wrote her own song. Man, it's the freaking best, right? I got really excited about that, right? But you can only like watch the same thing over and over for so long. And I don't know. I'm limited. I don't watch other things. Oh, apparently pillows are popular right now, right? American Pillow. Best pillow, my pillow. Introducing Sweater Pillow. Wisconsin, I was born there. Give it up for the Midwest, which, by the way, is something super awesome about the Midwest because I grew up on the East Coast. Now I live on the West Coast. And as nice as it is, and New England's flipping amazing, and San Francisco is incredible, right? The Midwest, there's something nice about it. It's a little bit more relaxed. Like I went to school in Minneapolis. The band starts playing in Minneapolis. Freaking people are dancing. People are cutting loose, you know. Sometimes in San Francisco, it can be like, I don't know if I'm really impressed by these guys. I've seen like so many bands that, I'm going to give them a chance. Anyway, Sweater Pillow. Okay, so check this out. It's complicated. Right now, it's a sweater. Check this out. So bear with me, all right? You're gonna want to watch the technique. Yeah, that's right. Pillow. You know, like, and there's different forms. Actually, funny enough, my girlfriend, girls like pillows, right? There's so many freaking pillows on my bed, I can't get in it. Is she trying to tell me something? Anyway, my neck is a little bit compromised due to excessive surfing. So freaking pillows, regular pillows, put my freaking head at 90 degrees, piss me off, like really freaking hurts. So with all the pillows, I gotta freaking clear my side of the bed, and I use this freaking prop it under my neck. Any doctors out there, please let me know what's going on. My finger's a little tingly. I had an MRI for a shoulder injury a bit ago. Maybe it was my neck. Oh my God, yeah, it freaking hurt crazy bad. That sucked. That was horrible, right? A friend of mine dropped me off at St. Francis Medical Center, I think. It's over by the Tenderloin, which is a sketchy part in San Francisco, right? So I'm like, unfortunately, I've been in a lot of emergency rooms. And often I end up staying longer than I expect, and everybody else is there freaking prepared. They got the music and this time, I was in mad pain, like 3 a.m, couldn't freaking move. My neck hurt really bad. So I actually brought my little backpack with a couple things, right? So I show up, and there's nobody there. It's a flipping big hospital, right? I got insurance with this hospital. I had just had shoulder surgery, I guess, something, yeah, or I was about to, maybe that's what it was. I'd freaking torn a bicep or something. Yeah, and there's flipping nobody there in reception. I mean, like, this is bizarre. I'm looking around. I'm like, what's up? Like, so I walked around for a little bit, and then I finally come back, and there's somebody there to greet me, right? And they were not very receptive. Told them, I was like, yeah, well, got freaking seeing the doctor for shoulder surgery. We got, here's my history. Here's my problem. I'm in mad pain. They give me something, knock me out, freaking lay me out in a freaking bed, whatever. Wake me up, probably 6 a.m. They're like, okay, time to go. I'm like, where's the doctor? What's the analysis and stuff? And I'm so foggy, I don't know what they gave me. that I walk out, and as I'm walking around, I realize I'm in the Tenderloin, which is a sketchy part of town. They thought I was one of the many homeless that end up just using the freaking hospital for a place to live. Because hospitals, this is one of the problems with, if you don't, trying to think, the insurance situation, just FYI, you don't like the idea of subsidizing insurance. You do it anyway. Hospitals can't turn you away. Like if you've got serious, it's like the laws and stuff like that, and they're there for good reasons. So without insurance, the hospital has to treat everybody, and people that don't have money, that gets subsidized by our taxes. So it's, it's difficult. But anyway, that was really weird. I'm walking around and like freaking go to Pete's Coffee, which I hope still exists. A lot of places are going out of business, which is really hard to see. Like, like I'm a business owner, I'm a contractor, I'm a designer. And you have no idea what it takes. So you pour your freaking life into your business. And something like this pulls the rug out from underneath you. I don't have the answer for it, but it's so freaking painful to see. Like restaurants and there's just so many people hurting. So, and as a business owner, you got nothing. You know what I mean? It's not like you put your 401k together. You've been freaking throwing everything you have into the business. Anyway, I don't know, help where you can. Share, at least send love. You know what I mean? You can always afford that. So let's see. As far as the YouTube channel goes, if you're still watching, or anything like this, having something to do depends on where you are. If you're finding that you're really uninspired, like I was finding myself waking up and feeling like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I should be sleeping. Screw that, right? Like, why beat yourself up for not being on somebody else's clock? Turns out these days we're not doing 9 to 5, right? And by the end of the day, I'm really flipping tired, right? So I go to sleep early and I wake up early. And it's super weird. Like I was finding myself I don't know, getting down on myself for being awake. That's a little weird. I was just about to go for a ride through the city on my skateboard, and I might do that. Let me know if you want to see what the city looks like at night. So I got an electric skateboard. I'm not apologizing. I got 2 fake hips because I ran fast through a lot of places all over the freaking planet. So, save your freaking poser BS about no way, I'm too cool for that. And by the way, electric skateboards, it's kind of like flipping. It's ridiculous. I mean, these kind of things you used to dream about, right? You freaking, like the Wild Go electric skateboard, $400 flipping dollars, right? Gets you in the city, 5 or 10 miles. And, you got a freaking little remote, goes, stops. Super fun, right? But, where was I going to go with that? It's kind of almost like snowboarding, through the city. It's ridiculous. You can go up on little ramps and whatever. The downside of it, kind of weird, right? I'm a surfer, and you can do all the funky little rail grab turns and stuff like that you want to do on a surfboard, and on a surfboard, there's extreme limitations on a surfboard. You want to freaking just gouge and just slam into a turn, you can't. Especially on a shortboard, you got to put a lot of weight on the back foot. You can just freaking rip the lid off of waves that a certain size. It's very, very, very satisfying. It's quite incredible. However, other board sports can challenge it, right? Like once you freaking hop on a snowboard, you can throw mad G-force into a turn. You can just freaking point it, and then especially if the conditions are good, it's insane. And we get a lot of snow out here. I grew up in New England. We don't necessarily get the same sort of thing. Here, you'll find yourself. I climbed Mount Shasta in the springtime, and you drop down a 3,000 foot freaking bowl all by yourself, right? Don't fall because nobody's there to help you. But anyway, and I haven't found anybody that wants to do it with me. You know what? I'm just a difficult guy to get along with. Hey, you want to go climb a mountain with me? That's not true. I climb the mountain with other people, but I'm the only one with a snowboard. And then you drop off this freaking ridge, and it's legit. It's I don't know. I hadn't climbed it for a long time, and I went with my youngest daughter, and another friend from Brazil. My youngest daughter had not climbed it. My buddy from Brazil is from Brazil. They don't have freaking snowy mountains there, right? So I got two first timers on the mountain, right? And now there was a fair number of people on the mountain that time, but I was freaking beat. I forgot how hard it is. It's really flipping hard, man. It's like 14,000 plus feet, right? Anyway, I'm freaking dying. My youngest is like a machine, really patient and sweet, but still like chipping away with her ice axe, kind of like, it's cool, Dad. I'll be here when you get here. I'm freaking, like, the oxygen gets really thin. Can't breathe, get tired. But anyway, and I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm so glad I got my snowboard because it's actually safer. I got caught in a whiteout one time. Whiteout, like you can't see, you tell the difference between the ground and the sky. It's freaking kind of extreme. Anyway, chips. Let me think here. So I get to the top and I'm like really relieved because I'm going to be able to drop elevation really fast, get that back down to where there's oxygen. We camped at like 10,000 feet. You can breathe really easy there. So I'm like, okay, glad we made it. Here's what you do. You guys grab your ice axe and slide down the side of the mountain. It's called glissading. And you can slow yourself down with the ice axe. Don't do it without because you can freaking go too fast, get hurt. And with your crampons, if you got crampons on your feet, which are like spikes that you attach to your boots, be careful because if you got those in front of you, you're flipping, flying. All of a sudden you catch your crampon and you can break your leg. So I'm at the top of the mountain, kind of team captain, guide, and it occurs to me only after I depart, clip into my snowboard, which my daughter carried for me because she's so sweet, and I start heading down the mountain, and I'm just freaking, I'm nervously, when the energy is that drained, I find myself feeling, I don't know, anxious. Yeah. You know, because like when you're, and I don't know, this bothers me throughout, like, you don't have to be on a mountain. If I'm really tired, it makes me anxious, which makes me more tired because if I'm really tired, and especially as a business owner, parent, whatever, if an incident comes up that you need to be able to handle, you don't have the energy to do it. And I don't know, I don't think I had a particularly adverse childhood. It was incredible in many ways. There were some challenges. Makes me think about people with real challenges. But I don't know, I'm a little freaking man. I'm just a nervous guy. But anyway, so I'm freaking nervous on top of the mountain. I'm weak. And when you're at 14,000 feet, you don't want to be weak, right? So I clip in. I freaking head down at the summit of Mount Shasta. There's a rocky outcropping, which is cool for photos. Clouds are down below you. It's a legit mountain, right? I power through this first little, not so steep, like section that brings you up to the top of, I think they call it Red Band, which is a freaking bunch of cliffs that you have to drop down on your snowboard to get down to a big freaking wide open bowl. That's all yours. It's so sick, right? But I depart and recognize, though I gave them instructions, I'm leaving a couple first timers on the top of the flipping mountain. So I get really anxious. And I stop and I'm like making sure that they know where to go to get down. And I think because I was yelling kind of loud, your voice carries, there's no air, like the air is really thin, so your voice carries really loud. So I think my daughter might have been getting irritated, like I know when I'm flipping, going, stop yelling, right? And then once you go over the freaking edge, there's no going back. So if you have an equipment failure, and equipment failures suck, you have an equipment failure, once you drop down into the bowl, it's going to be a challenge. And I was kind of sketched out, like I said, feeling really weak. And I see a couple other skiers had gone down. They were down below, and I shouted down to them. They said it's good, so I'm like, cool, I'm on it. But you know, like you kind of need to be aggressive, freaking drop in, punch it, and then you don't freaking try and turn on the side of a freaking. Yeah, there's times you can't turn, right? So you got to be aggressive, and I was aggressive enough to pull it off, and then finally, you're getting more oxygen, you feel better. It was cool. Anyway, Yeah, that was a freaking cool trip. God, that was amazing. We got to the bottom. You have to melt snow to have some water to drink, have a little stove. I don't know. Let me think. There was some, it was really an amazing. And then if you do climb Mount Shasta, then go down to, I think it's Lake Shasta. Then next, because it'll be freaking way cold at the top. I mean, way cold. Oh my God, I totally dropped the ball on that trip. It was like 100 flipping degrees, legit 100 degrees. That's hot. In the town of Shasta. So, team captain, we're gonna go and we're sleeping. Now we're on a mountain covered with snow, right? And I'm like, oh, it won't be that cold. So I think we did not bring things like jackets. We brought jackets, kinda. But apparently nobody slept, except for me. My friend Baga dug a snow cave, which was not really more of anything more than a coffin. Dug down about like, I don't know, 4 feet, 3 feet, and made the shape of his body, put his freaking piece of plastic down. This is in snow. But the thing is, heat rises. So the cold air just freaking sunk and sat on top of him, right? And around like 3 in the morning, I don't know, I was sleeping well. I just slept on top of the snow. Sierra wasn't sleeping. Baga pointed out to me in the morning. He goes, there's a special kind of hatred you have for somebody that's snoring. Well, you can't sleep. Apparently I snore. So anyway, and I was like, yo, man, I'm going back to bed. Freaking leave in the morning. And fortunately, we did leave when we did. You have a headlamp. And the snow is firm. If you're going to climb a mountain, these things matter, right? If you wait too late, the sun heats up the snow, then slush, you can't climb. Sucks. So we took off and climbed, and I'm glad we did, because it was freaking, I was tired. That was cool. That's a nice trip. Also in Shasta, find the abandoned trains. I don't know what it's about. There was, I believe, a shop where they repaired trains, but it's really fun. There's a bunch of abandoned trains, just a novel thing to see. Shasta's cool. Shasta's really cool. Little town, beautiful mountain. Now, the thing that I like about Shasta, Tahoe's flipping magic, man. Tahoe is world, like, it's out of this flipping world, right? However, there is an element of going with, right? I live in a city. When I go away, I like to get away. Much of the city goes to Tahoe for a good reason, right? Shasta, you get away. There's a little ski resort there, very chill. Probably only 1,500 elevation. Vertical drop, that is, right? It's on the side of Mount Shasta. But really, you can't compare to climbing a mountain with your snowboard or your skis. And oh my God, this one freaking guy, it was crazy. At one point, I think he was trying to make his friends laugh, right? So we're up at, there's a path, the last push, something, I don't know, Misery Hill, I think it's called. This cat's got his freaking skis on his backpack, and he starts running, like full sprint, right? And everybody's just freaking, you know, you're breathing slow, and I mean, you're moving slow, everything. This freaking guy starts running, and it's interesting. You're like, I don't know, like sometimes people lose their mind, low oxygen, right? So it's a momentary panic. I'm like, somebody's freaking losing it, right? He's running up the hill, and oh my God, it was freaky, right? And he was just trying to show his friends that he could do it, and then he didn't have a heart attack, but it looked like he was going to have a heart attack, and just freaking laid down and in the snow, and it was cool. It was pretty dramatic. Anyway, he was fine. Everybody made it. Be careful at the top. We gotta get the top, and there's just a little bit. I'm thinking it's like the last little rocky bit's 50 feet, right? Whatever. But still, if you fall off 50 feet, you're gonna get hurt. People sometimes stand up there, and the air's thin. You get dizzy, fall down. Then it's tough to rescue. Like, it's bad. Don't do it. Be careful. Whatever. So what I was gonna talk about was there's not much to the story, but it's a funny story, I think. So I go down to Colombia. Colombia, by the way, is a beautiful country. Freaking really, really, really impressive. I was at some coastal town. Can't remember. Everybody knows it's a popular place. Freaking mad hot, crazy hot, right? I had a little chaos in the city. Needed to get away, right? So I don't know. I was going to go to Cuba. Yeah, Cuba, but it got complicated. It was the last minute. I just want to leave that day, right? Had to get some sort of permission. Didn't have it. So Colombia begins with a C. It was really the thought process, right? Anyway, so I go down there and really, really nice. Medellin, I spent a bit of time in Medellin. They have cool museums. I'm not a museum kind of guy, but it's cool, like, under certain circumstances. Here's what I really like about Colombia, is the people. I mean, like, yeah, I want to see beautiful things, right? But I really, when I travel, I'm really into the people, the culture, right? And my experience, Colombians are freaking cool. Like you go to El Parque Lleras in Medellin, and this place is like a street. Well, it's like 4 blocks by 2 blocks, 4 blocks by really like 2 blocks, right? Of like clubs and restaurants and what have you. And it makes like the freaking wildest night in Vegas look like a church social. This place is freaking going off, but here's what's really cool about it, right? Colombians are quite unique this way. They know how to freaking socially, they're just advanced, right? Every freaking club is filled to comfort capacity. If it's too crowded, you just go to the flipping next place. The other thing is that people don't get blotto. People don't get stupid. That's mostly an American thing. People getting dumb drunk and then doing dumb things. So you got the most freaking wild, crazy, it all goes party. And it's not like this bravado BS where people are fighting. I saw one girl really wasted and throwing up. She happened to be an American. For the most part, people are just having a good time. Even like the cocaine. You think of Medellin with cocaine, right? Everybody that's selling chiclets is really selling cocaine. And there's people selling chiclets everywhere. It's illegal, but you know, basically it's like, don't be a freaking idiot, right? So the police will, like, you know, pat people down, like, oh, don't do it again. Which is an interesting policy. Our drug policy is really freaking bizarre and backwards, and I'll talk about that in another video. But anyway. You don't see anybody freaking gacked trying to chew on their eyebrow, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know people are on cocaine. You don't know people are freaking drinking. Because they're cool. They're just cool people. Yeah, I like Colombia. I like Colombians. On my way out of there, I stopped at a place to grab a horse. I like riding horse. Turns out my nephew in Connecticut tells me that riding horses, see, I'm on the West Coast. Riding horses, you're a freaking cowboy, right? East Coast, New England, apparently it's more of a dressage, probably, like different thing. Like, it's like a girl thing, you know what I mean? Like, nothing wrong with girls, but you know, like, interesting, because I like riding horses. You're flipping around on a horse. I was in Egypt, and they have English saddles. And when you're on an English saddle and you're running from the freaking pyramid, the next pyramid in the flipping desert, flying, you learn how to flipping ride. You get out of the saddle a little bit and you're just floating. Oh, man, that's cool. And on the way back, I stopped. I was spending time, and I was working in Zimbabwe. So on the way back, I stopped again. And I thought I was just freaking bummed about leaving Zimbabwe because I didn't feel right? So I rode the horse and feel really good. And turns out I had freaking malaria, which got really bad. Then I landed in New York. And a friend of mine happened to be on the Rhodesian squash team, and they were on the same flight, so we went out, had a good time, but I was feeling kind of weird, had a good time, whatever, but I woke up in the morning with freaking malaria so bad that I started getting small, right? Like small, like tiny small, like, oh man, I'm gonna fall. My friend Dean lived on the Upper East Side. And I knew he had to go to work, so I keep on waking up. Every time I wake up, I think it's the next day. And I keep on thinking, they got to get to work. I should get up and wake them. But then I'd get small, hang on to the freaking sheets, because I thought I was going to fall through the sheets, and then they wouldn't find me. I don't know, maybe Willy Wonka, they were going to freaking re-enlarge me like Mike TV. But I had a plan, because you got to have a plan when you're getting small. And my plan was the bed bugs. They have a bed bug problem in New York, and they find the bed bugs in the corner of the mattress. And if I went over where the bed bugs are, they could find me and re-enlarge me. But as funny as that sounds, I promise you, when you're really freaking like fever spiking and you don't have control of that, it's terrifying. It sucks. Oh my God. And then I'd have freaking periods of lucidity, and I walked out. Now I'm on the street, can't remember my name. Finally made it to the hospital. And then it occurred to me I don't have insurance because we have a backwards country. So I'm like trying not to tell them who I am. They put me in this freaking room, right? Big letters, do not enter. Big doors, quarantine. They're not real familiar with malaria around here. It's not contagious. But anyway, that was flipping horrible. It sucked. Colombia. Here's the funny thing about Colombia, right? So I stop and I grab the horses, right? Now I get to the top of this little mountain, and it was interesting. There's two young girls with their mom. There was a girl, her friend, mom, and then mom's on a date with an American guy. Very interesting guys. Guys seem really cool, from Washington. Paraplegic. Somehow was able to ride a horse. Very, very impressive guy, right? So the kids, it was really cute. I think they just thought it was cool that I was an American guy hanging out with them. Like, sometimes you're in places where there's not a lot of Americans. So it was cute. It was kind of celebrity stuff. They were the cute little giggly, like, wow, I can't believe we're hanging out with a freaking American guy, whatever. But they could ride horses, and I'm an immature, competitive guy, right? And all I had was my flip-flops, I think. Yeah, because my feet got cut up. And these horses were good, right? We had miles to go to get down this mountain. We flipping raced. I'm talking like side by side around the corners, and I'm like, I am not going to freaking give up easy. I am old and insecure. So I am like freaking neck and neck until finally now my feet are bleeding. And I'm just finally like, whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm going to walk from here. And it turns out I only had like 100 yards to flip and go, right? So as I freaking limp into the corral, they're like, hey, over here. I'm like, whatever. Isn't that funny? Anyway, so here's the thing, right? Next morning, I got to leave, going to the airport. And I get to the airport, and I got a couple pesos left, right? I'm like, whatever. Buy a couple things. I buy a hat. A little fedora or something like that, and a pair of sunglasses, and then I enter the airport, right? And it's early. Sun's not really up yet, right? So I got this cheesy hat and sunglasses on, and I walk through the door, and I'm just carrying it. But as soon as you open the door, you realize the walls are lined with one-way mirrors. You're on stage, and they're looking for cheesy drug dealers, the profile of which you fit to a T. And I look, and I'm like, you can't just take your freaking hat and glasses off. It's going to make it more obvious, right? And immediately, a very nice young lady comes over and says, did you pack your bags? And yeah, that's when they going to inspect your bags and stuff like that. And I knew what was up, so I told her, I was like, yeah, entirely me. Feel free to go through them. Sorry about the outfit. It worked out okay. Yeah, a little awkward. I mean, bad things can happen. Be a little careful. Most importantly, when you're traveling, you want to try and avoid A, being a dick, and B, looking like you've got something for anyone else to think they want. I look homeless when I'm traveling. Pair of ratty, like, camo shorts, nasty flip-flops. Same shirt I wear every day. I really should dress up my show. Let me think. There was something else. Colombia inspection. I can't think of what it is. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.